read my newsletter yesterday, you saw that I wanted to make pancakes this morning. So if I say that I'm making gluten-free, sugar-free, oil-free pancakes, you think, ugh, that sounds terrible, like cardboard or something like that. But I promise it's not going to be like that. It's going to be delicious. These are my smoothie pancakes. These are blueberry smoothie pancakes. So I have my blender here. I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of milk. I may add some more milk. We'll see how thick or thin it gets. I'm using soy milk here. I'm going to put in a banana. The more spots the banana has on it, the sweeter it is. And the more antioxidants, which is kind of backwards from what we usually think. But I want a banana that at least has some spots. The more spots, the better, actually. All right, so I'm gonna throw in my banana. I have 1 cup of gluten-free oats. If you have an issue with gluten or wheat, make sure your oats are certified gluten-free. 1 cup of oats. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That'll make it kind of like a buttermilk pancake. I didn't mean to get it wet before I get my baking powder. So I have 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of vanilla. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'll do it twice. I'm running out of vanilla. This is Mexican vanilla, which is my favorite. It is so delicious. I love it. And then I like to add cinnamon, or my special spice this is ginger, cinnamon, and turmeric. And you may have heard me talk about that before. They're all very anti-inflammatory and help with blood sugar. And so I'm just going to put maybe a teaspoon or so. You could leave that out. You could just do ginger. But you don't need it, but you could use it if you would like to. So I have my oats, I have a 1/4 cup of milk, I have my banana, I have my tablespoon of baking powder. I make my own baking powder. This one's a grain-free baking powder that I make with arrowroot because I am allergic to wheat. A lot of times corn will cross-react with wheat, and I do have reactions with corn. And so corn, I can't use regular baking powder because it has cornstarch in it. So I make my own. So this is a tablespoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother, and vanilla. So the last thing I'm going to add is my pancakes, my blueberries, but I'll blend it first. So let me just turn it on really quick. It might get loud for a second. Looks pretty thick. I don't think I need to add any more milk. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of blueberries, and then I'm just going to hit pulse for a second just so that I have them incorporated. Alright, and you can blend it but then you will have purple pancakes, which is fine. You can do that if you want. Alright, so I always forget to turn my stove on my videos. So let's turn the stove on and get it nice and hot. And while we're waiting on it to get hot, I will talk about what I'm doing and why. So bananas, we know have some potassium in. They're actually not the highest of all of the fruits and vegetables in potassium. Sweet potatoes are a better choice if you're eating for potassium. I have blueberries, which are full of antioxidants, which are wonderful for reversing cell damage, repairing DNA. I told you I put the spices in for anti-inflammatory and blood sugar control. The vanilla is really for flavor. It probably does have some medicinal qualities, but none that I know of. And apple cider vinegar is wonderful for the body. It also helps with blood sugar control and many other things. There are a lot of studies on apple cider vinegar. I'm using soy milk. You could use oat milk if you want to. Oatly is a gluten-free. Oat is made from gluten-free oats. And Oatly would be a good choice for a milk product. A lot of people are afraid of soy because of studies in the 90s that said soy has estrogen, so it leads to breast cancer, but those have been proven to be false. The estrogens in soy are different from the estrogens in a mammalian. Mammalian estrogen is different from plant estrogen, so you do not need to worry about it. It actually has protective effects. And so soy is not harmful unless you are allergic to soy. It is a common allergen. Okay, as that heats up, so some of these are going to be oil-free. So how do you cook pancakes if you're making them oil-free? First, I am using a non-stick ceramic pan, but I'm going to use parchment paper. So I'm going to put my parchment paper down on my pan. Turn that down a little bit. I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup. That's usually what I do. I have 1/3 of a cup of batter. I'm going to put it on top of the parchment paper. And then I'm going to let it brown. Give it a few minutes to brown. These are a little thick. I may end up adding a little bit more water before milk, before I do some more. I'm still a little sleepy here. While that's cooking, I'll tell you what. So I'm not going to put maple syrup on top. I'm going to use blueberries. So here's some more frozen blueberries. I'm just going to put these in the microwave for about 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, just to thaw. The juices from the blueberries will come out, and it'll be saucy. And so that will be what I put on top of my pancakes, so I don't have to use maple syrup. I'm also going to toast some pecans, which I forgot to get out. After I've cooked my pancakes, I'll throw a couple of pecans onto the pan for just a few seconds, just so I can get those oils released. Once I start to smell the pecan oil, I'll pull them off, and then I'll put the blueberries and the pecans on top of my pancakes, and that will be delicious. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I don't even need a spatula for this, so be careful with this. You could use a spatula if you want. What I'm going to do, when it starts to get brown on the bottom, it'll start to peel away from the paper. I'll put another piece of parchment paper on top, flip them over, and peel it off, and then I'll have a browned pancake. Let's see if it's starting. It is not ready. So I'm doing this live, and so we'll see what happens. Sometimes things don't turn out as well when I'm live. Hopefully this will flip and work the way I want it to. But I just love being able to have pancakes on the weekends. And I feel really good about eating these. It's just like a smoothie. So if it doesn't turn out, I can just eat it because it's just like eating a smoothie. It's my smoothie in pancake form. I hate for you to have to wait. Hopefully they'll be ready in a second. See if the batter is thickening up. Yep, I'm going to add some more milk to what's left in here. So several of you that are new to my Holistic Jen Facebook group just finished the reset, the 5-day reset, and so you've been eating just real whole foods. So this is a great way to keep going and have pancakes for breakfast. It'll keep you still on track. Some of you are doing a candida cleanse where you cannot have any sugar or fruit. Now, when I did a candida cleanse, I did eat a few berries. Berries are actually very low in sugar. It just may take you a little bit longer on the cleanse. All right, let's see. Not quite yet. You can see I keep sticking my hands in the hot pan, so be very careful if you do that. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Hopefully I won't burn it. And while that is doing, let me grab my pecans. So you can use pecans or walnuts. Both of them are really good for heart health. I just know I can grab the pecans really quick and easily, so I'm going to use those. And we could have put some flax seeds in our smoothie. Flax seeds are also wonderful for heart health. And that would have been a wonderful option as well for insider pancakes. I just wanted to be quick and easy in a few ingredients. And probably the way I keep lifting it up might be messing it up. All right, so let me just show you how I flip it. I'm gonna stick my parchment paper on top, and I just flipped it over. And you can see if I try to peel that off, it might come off for me. There we go. I think I'm gonna let it cook a little bit longer and flip it back over. Not quite ready. It's getting close though. And so I love pancakes. Pancakes are my favorite. They're not my family's favorite though. Shane will probably eat an oat bowl, which I already have overnight. I did a combination chia, pudding, and oat bowl together. And so those are in the refrigerator for anyone who doesn't want pancakes. Carly doesn't really like pancakes that much either. She likes to put chocolate chips on top. So she may eat these and throw some chocolate chips on top of those, which is added sugar. And we do have the vegan chocolate chips. Oh, there we go. All right, so it came off. So you can see it's not quite as brown, but it's also oats, not flour. And you can see, I don't know how well you can see on Facebook. My other camera can see a little better, I think. It's not quite done in the middle, so I'm just going to let it cook a little bit longer. Let's see if I can peel it off. Not yet. Okay. So what else can go with this? For me, I am going to have my breakfast soup, which I know some of y'all think is really weird. I'll have my breakfast soup and my juice first, and then I'll have this with my dandelion chicory coffee with the pecans and the blueberries on top. If I were avoiding fruit, then I could just leave the blueberries out of the, well, I don't think this would work because I like the pancakes. I mean, I like the banana in there as well. So if you're avoiding fruit, this might not be a good choice for you. The banana gives it the sweetness and holds it together. Almost there. You can see how I'm always playing with my food here. Alright, so let me take that off. And I can go ahead and add another one. And while it's cooking, I will heat up my blueberries so I can show you how I finish it off. Here goes my next pancake. It smells like I have my pan a little too hot. Let me turn it down. Heat up my blueberries and I'll be right back. I'm going to stick these in the microwave for 30 seconds. And I could also put them in a small pot on the stove and thaw them that way. And if you are not avoiding sugar, you could always just put a tablespoon of maple syrup in the batter and or in the blueberries. That would be good. We're kind of making a blueberry compote to go on top of our blueberry pancakes. So I'm using, these are Simple Truth pecans, and I could just put them right on top, but just putting them in the pan for a few minutes brings out those oils, and it smells so good and gives it so much wonderful flavor. Okay, so you can see my blueberries thawed. Can you see on Facebook? Set them down. I'll slide this over so I can show you real quick what I do with the pecans. Grab a plate. I'll put my pancake on a plate. Add some of the blueberries. Here I am sticking my fingers in the pan again. Don't do that. Don't do what I do. I'm going to grab a different spatula. I don't want to scratch the surface here. Alright, now I'm going to throw those on top. I didn't thaw my blueberries quite enough. They're not as juicy. I need a little more juice on my pancake. Let's see if I can get some of the juice off the bottom. And thaw them some more. Anyway, Now you can see. So I have my blueberry pancake with blueberries and pecans, and that's gonna be delicious. Anyway, let me know if you try this recipe, and let me know what you think. I love pancakes. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday.